he who is without sin. Cast the first stone.
Now, welcome to this type of news. I'm Dutch.
Ooh, and this, this is Dutch when you got me quoting the Bible at the beginning.
Now, listen. It's times in life where such rich, cruel irony reveals its ugly head. You know what I mean? It just pops out like a serpent and pokes you right in the eye. You know what I mean? And I think we all know what we're talking about.
Oh, Lord.
Now, we're not going to use any names. We're not going to name nobody. But a certain pastor
of a certain church, who is a leader of a certain
preserved marriage. Now, the reason why we find this very funny
because it's hilarious.
Not the situation itself, but
the irony.
Yeah, we sat here and we said the only people that care about same-sex marriage are gay. And lo and behold, he's gay. Now, I understand that everybody is just all over this topic for various reasons.
I can think of a few.
That is a hypocrite, that the whole hypocrites and da. But I think one of the main things that was glazed over was the fact that the young man was a minor at the time.
Well, I'm not sure if that. I mean, it's been said, but I'm not sure if that's been 100% confirmed.
Yeah, but whether it's confirmed or not, I feel like it's a bit more of an important hot button issue than whether or not he's gay. I mean, as far as
true. That is a very valid point.
I mean, as far as I know, whether it's confirmed or not, I'm not gonna dig too deep into hearsay. But what I am saying,
when we get like an official like police report about him being a minor, then we'll touch on that. But until like that evidence is irrefutable, I'm gonna keep my mouth shut.
Yeah, but I just think that should be something that
is definitely something that needs to be like, wait a minute.
Yeah, is that true or not?
What's the deal with that right there? Because that is, even though the gentleman is an adult now, if he was a minor, which I believe that the legal connotations for a homosexual relationship, the age of consent indeed needs to be 18, 16 for heterosexual, 18 for homosexual. It's weird.
Yeah.
Ages vary.
What makes me laugh,
correct me if I'm wrong on that. Please do.
I've seen a lot of comments where people are saying just because the man is homosexual doesn't mean that he agrees with homosexual marriage. No.
That is...
Apparently, he has resigned
from preserved marriage. No, not apparently. That was in the newspaper this morning.
But I feel like it wasn't a by choice or willing resignation, which means that obviously preserved marriage does not believe that homosexuals can join their cause. Mm-hmm. Now, some people say, oh, that's obvious, but think of what that means. An organization that says we have no problem with homosexuals, we just have a problem
with them getting married.
It's
shunning a homosexual.
However, here we are now, seeing that this man was basically resigned from his position based on the fact that his sexual orientation was that of a homosexual, even though he hasn't come out and said that he supports homosexual marriage.
Now, the argument has been made that he's bisexual, but okay, see, I don't think people understand what being bisexual means. Like, it means you are equally attracted to both genders. Which means that if he loved and married his wife, even though he was attracted to men, then it would have just been his wife. This relationship that he's been in has been going on longer than his marriage.
Well, that also comes down to whether or not, that's kind of diving into the personal aspect of it, or whether he was trying to save face, or whether...
I think he was trying to save face. I think that the wedding was not a sham, but I think that
Well,
cover up.
Well, I mean, we can't speak on that for certain. But what I will say is that if he was bisexual, right, regardless of his orientation, it is possible for you to have loved somebody else and marry somebody else.
Which is dumb.
It's dumb, but it's possible. Heterosexual people do it dumb.
Not true.
How about that?
But that brings me to my next point. Why is the problem that he's gay and not the problem that he cheated on his wife?
Because that's the hot button issue.
But that's the thing. Like, if everybody said, oh, you know, God this, blah, 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 blah. Like, you're trying to preserve the marriage, but you're not talking about what's actually breaking up the marriage.
He's a double hypocrite. And I think that even though the tabloids are focusing on the fact that he is homosexual, I do think that a lot of people within the community are focusing on the fact that he did commit adultery.
Yeah, that is adultery.
Yeah.
And you cheated on your wife and your child. Now that's horrible for the family because then you mean, like, not regardless of him being gay, a father and a husband leaving for somebody else, regardless of whether it's a man or a woman, that's some hard stuff to deal with. That's not okay. So, if anything, I feel bad for the family. I have no sympathy for him. I feel bad for the family. Mm-hmm. Him and the boyfriend. I don't feel bad for either of them.
Well, yeah, because I mean they were cheating.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it has revealed something that a lot of us have been saying, and that is the fact that it is very clear that your sexual orientation is something that determines how preserved marriage perceives you. Because whether or not this man actually believes in same-sex marriage has not been spoken of.
Nope.
So the main reason for him most likely resigning is one of two things, either the adultery or the same-sex marriage. Now, for me, I don't think that it's the adultery. Mm-hmm. Now, with that being said, I have some criticisms for the other side as well. Now, I understand that Bermuda has this tit-for-tat mentality, and it is something that is passed on from generation to generation. Bermudians don't like to get to a place where they can be better. They like to get to a place where they can be even, where they can get even. In other words, preserved marriage has spent the last, months, whatever, span of time of its existence, fighting against same-sex marriage and a Supreme Court ruling now more recently. And many homosexuals have felt that they were discriminated against by this group, whether the group admitted it or not.
Which is understandable.
Now, on the flip side, you see a lot of outspoken members of the homosexual community relishing in this man's fall, relishing in this revelation that, that they are hypocrites. But now we've moved into hypocrisy because that was our chance to be better people. That was our chance to show that we accept people regardless. And what we showed was, yes, I understand how tempting it is, but what we showed was that we're no better.
Well, I mean, I completely understand and agree where you're coming from, but at the same time, I do understand because it's like these us been sitting there poking you with a stick like the whole time, like, yeah, and all of a sudden these sticks in your hands now, and you want to get them for everything that they had said and done to you. They want to get them for the guy who had the sign that said Bati boys can't get married. They want to get them for this group that is trying to take away their legal right to get married. So I understand it because even myself, when I read it, I burst out laughing. I'm not gonna lie, I burst out laughing because, like, this revelation is pretty much like being a Black Klansman member in certain people's eyes.
Yeah.
Like, this is a group that is fighting completely against everything that this group stands for. So when you find out that someone from this group that's fighting against this group really should be in this group, it's like... And now, the problem is, I do feel that some members of the gay community will open their doors to him, but I really feel that most of them are going to be like, nah, check it later. Like, you're one of us and you were fighting against your own people, pretty much.
Yeah, I'm not saying that it's not understandable, but what I am saying is that...
Doesn't make it right.
In Bermuda, that mentality has hindered us for so many years, and it's even more prevalent here because we're so small. Lots of people don't support ITTP because we spoke out against the PLP, regardless of whether or not we speak out against the OBA, which we do. Many people believe that tit for tat, if they said something about PLP, they must be OBA. And then tit for tat with a lot of things on these forums, online. If the OBA gets an article, oh wow, the PLP did this, so excuse the OBA for doing it too. Well, here's the thing. Was segregation defeated by tit for tat?
I don't think segregation was defeated. I think they just shifted it.
No, but that's what I'm saying. But regardless, the method of going forward is when somebody bites the bullet.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Right now, what's happening is that we're going back and forward. And it's only going to still the preserved marriage people even more, and still those who are pro same-sex marriage even more. Because nobody is looking for the middle ground.
Nobody ever looks for middle ground in an argument. You just constantly throwing stuff at each other.
But this is what I'm talking about. And it's like, whereas what we do is we try to find that middle ground, but we also have our own personal beliefs that do leak into the show. So we are also guilty of tit for tat. But what I am saying now...
We're humans.
Yeah, we're humans. But it's like, when is it going to be enough? When is it going to be the time for when adults are going to set examples for these kids? Because I haven't seen that video out where these guys are fighting in Hamilton. But that all stems... Wow. Anyway, that's another time. But that whole issue stems from that mentality. Oh, the whites did this, so we gotta get them. Oh, these blacks don't do that, we gotta get them. Oh, OBA didn't listen to the people, so we gotta da-da-da-da. And the PLP ran a campaign on race. But yeah, okay, so where's the middle ground? At the end of the day, we all live here, you know. Whether one side wins or loses, the other side doesn't disappear. So you gotta learn to live with one another.
You want to know what I would like this to be like? I would bet money that this is going to happen. But I would like this whole example to like explain to preserved marriage people that like these like gay people are in your churches, they're sitting next to you, they're preaching your sermons. Like it's
no, they understand that.
I don't know if they do.
They do. Because every time you confront one, it's always, I have no problem. I have homosexual friends. See what I'm saying? So they know that they're all around them. The main issue is...
They can't get married.
Exactly. It's that one point where you get to that...
It's
my religion. I can't buckle on it.
No, that's an excuse. It's closeted homophobia. I'm calling it what it is right now. They should just change preserved marriage to Homophobia Anonymous.
Yeah, well, regardless.
Because any, like, you know, I know you might say, oh, I'm not homophobic, I don't have a problem with gay people. Like, then why do you have a problem with them getting married? And honestly, you know, like, it's... You're okay with them being your friends. You're okay with being around them. You're okay with them cooking your food. You're okay with them teaching your children. Actually, no, maybe probably wouldn't be okay with them teaching the children.
Yeah, they wouldn't.
I don't think so. You're okay with them running your businesses. You're okay with them delivering your flowers. You're okay with them driving your buses. You're okay with them doing your taxis. You're okay with them being integrated into society. But when they ask for a piece of paper that says that I am legally tied to this person, that's where you draw the line.
It's about people's beliefs. And trying to counter somebody's belief is virtually impossible. Now, this situation that's happening right now should be the wake-up call that you can't choose.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot choose to be gay.
Because this is a pastor. This is someone that's been preaching. And in all honesty, I kind of like this might not be true, but what I gathered from this whole situation was this man is a homosexual. But I don't think I think because of how he was raised and the environment that he was around, I think he constantly felt that he was wrong, but obviously clearly could not fight the desire to do what he was wired to do. So which is why I think he became a pastor and why he went to preserve marriage. Because maybe it's like, I want to compare it to like a drug addiction, but not. It's like, I keep doing it, but I know I shouldn't be doing it, but I can't stop doing it because I want to do it. And in my mind, I know that I should be doing it, but everything I was raised at tells me that this is wrong, but I don't.
But look at it like this. That mentality comes from the fact that we have a church state that basically condemns people for being who they are when it doesn't conform to that church state. And me, as somebody who is a believer, find that to be appalling, simply because when you look at the fact that this man was a pastor, like you said, he was married to a woman, he checked all the boxes of being an upstanding heterosexual Christian male. He checked all the boxes. There was no closer he could have got to a Christian upstanding heterosexual.
He was the pastor.
Exactly.
He was the one conducting the faith train.
So the thing is with that, it comes down to, when will we understand that this is not a choice? And if that mentality wasn't in place, maybe he would have just linked up with the person that he was actually in love with, per se. I'm not going to know if they're in love or not, but linked up with the person he actually was interested in.
They've been together for a while. I'm pretty sure that's love.
And then he probably would never married the wife. And then she wouldn't have been hurt and a part of a family that is probably breaking now.
Frankly, like I completely agree. Like if he was comfortable with being himself from jump, then everyone around him's pain would not have happened. Well, maybe it would have happened, but like, you know, it wouldn't got to that degree. Because I mean, what play was it that Shakespeare? Well, Shakespeare, another famous closet homosexual. What play was it? I think it was Hamlet that he said, "To thine own self be true." Was it Hamlet? Macbeth?
I haven't seen Shakespeare since I was in GCSE English.
I auditioned for acting school. I really should know this. Either way, in the Shakespeare play, one of the characters says, "To thine own self be true." A lot of people misquote that as a Bible quote, but it's really a Shakespeare quote, regardless. But still, if that's not applicable to everything, I don't know what is. Because even when I was younger, I tried acting like everybody else. Until when I got older and said, that's not me. And I started living my own life, making my own choices, listening to what I wanted to listen to, wearing what I wanted to wear, doing what I wanted to do. And immediately my outlook on life got so much more positive because I wasn't trying to be something I wasn't. When you are a certain way and you literally spend years trying to suppress that, but you can't really fight who you are.
So he might just be free now.
If anything, yeah, maybe.
Because at the end of the day, how many cases are like that where people are being suppressed within our community because we have a stigma, and not just a stigma for homosexuality, but a stigma for a lot of things, and people feel the need to conform.
And I'm sorry to cut you off. What did you say?
No, I'll finish.
Okay. I really think, because I hear from a lot of people, it's like, oh, all these gay people coming out these days, and all these people doing this these days. I'm like, the gay population of the earth has not changed. What has changed is the fact that they can be open about who they are and not get burnt at the stake. Like, I don't think we're experiencing a surge in homosexuality. I think we are experiencing a surge in individuality. Like, I think now that the times are different, that people can be themselves, but it's not still fully there yet, because clearly, as we see with this pastor, who he was not who we saw him as.
Well, I just hope that preserved marriage really takes time to analyze the situation and understand that this pastor served with you. He's somebody you know quite well.
He's a church member. He's someone that believes in your Lord and everything.
That you know is faithful, that you know believes, and you know has tried their best to be straight, or at least to live a life that was appealing to what was mandated by the church. So I hope that this situation brings light that this is somebody close to you that you know. It's not just a stranger that you're advocating against, or somebody that you just in passing was gonna go against their right to get married. But somebody within your own organization that showed up to your meetings, that showed up to your church, was with you, that you know is probably a good person.
I
made a
wouldn't
bunch
be-
of mistakes, but it's probably a good person. How can you still stay the course knowing that this person that you probably deeply cared for is indeed a homosexual? And it's not by choice.
I honestly, like, what I would like to happen, I don't want them to shun the man. I don't think that would be the Christian thing to do.
Well,
One.
I don't know if they are.
I just, now that I think about it, I do feel, I still find the situation hilarious. I'm not gonna lie to you about that, but I do kind of feel for the pastor, because now it's like, how do you live your life? Because I'm sorry if I'm wrong about this. This is something that I would like to be wrong about. I want to be wrong. So please, if you prove me wrong on this, I will feel significantly better. But how I see it right now is he will be shunned by most of the church members. He will not be able to go back to that church.
And he will definitely have animosity from the homosexual community as well.
Where does he go?
This is a good time to be the bigger people.
Because this is one of your community members. This is someone you grew up with. This is someone you should, you consider your friend. Someone you consider your spiritual leader. Like, I mean, yeah, I knock religion all the time, but I understand that the Christian thing to do is accept people for who they are and love them, just as Jesus said to accept everyone. Because remember, Jesus hung around with a bunch of gangbangers and prostitutes.
You were doing so well today.
No, I don't mean that to bash anybody, but Paul carried a knife around with him. Remember, he chopped off that guy's ear when they tried to come arrest Jesus? He was ready to go down. He's like, let's go.
Yeah, he loved that arrow, or did he put it right?
There was two of the disciples he called something fire, the brother of fire, I can't remember. But some of his disciples came from rough upbringings. I mean, he constantly had Mary Magdalene with him. What was Mary Magdalene before she came to Jesus and washed his feet with her hair?
Hard. Sorry, I don't know why that.
I know my Bible, okay? Regardless, this is who Jesus hung around with. And actually, Jesus didn't say anything about homosexuality. Not once.
Okay.
What he said was, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. He said, love thy neighbor and love God. Loving thy neighbor means accepting people for who they are, regardless of what they've done or what they are going through. So if this pastor feels that he cannot go back to his church, I will be very disappointed. If this pastor feels that he cannot function in society, I will be very disappointed. Because those same Christian people that were there with him while he was their pastor should be there with him as he's going through this struggle. Because that is what Jesus said to do.
And that defines friendship. Not when things are good, but when things are bad.
When things are bad, when the chips are down, that's when you find out who people really are.
So we'll be watching very closely.
So please prove me wrong. I like being right, but in this case, I will be very pleasantly surprised if the members of this gentleman's church accept him for who he is.
That's right. This been some type of news.
Check y'all later.
I'm Dutch Spearman. Bruce Robinson. Can you dig that? I can dig it.